fully what the cost of being a follower of his. So Jesus is walking, and as he's walking, there's just a multitude of people that are following him. Suddenly, he turns around. And in Luke chapter 14, verse 26, he says this, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple." That is a really tough, hard to receive phrase right there. Jesus suddenly turning to the crowd, multitudes want to follow him. He says, "Hey, do you really want to follow me?" Then he says this statement that just seems to run against everything we believe. If you want to follow him, you have to hate your mother, your father, your children, your wife, your sister, your brother, and even your own self. Now, wait a minute. We got to interpret this according to the rest of the scriptures, because Jesus said that we should love others like we love ourselves. He wasn't against that. He even says that we should love our enemies. So certainly we should love our mom and dad, wife, brother, sister, and our children. But he's saying this in comparison to our devotion to Jesus. There can be no other earthly devotion that even begins to compare. We are all in for the Lord. I love the fact that Jesus is just telling us here that the path to blessing is to just say, keep the priority right. The first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. The devotion to God, though, in the first commandment takes priority over everything else. Even over our family relationships, I should never allow an earthly or family relationship to get in the way of my obedience to God and my devotion to him. If I'm married to someone and they should say to me, "I don't want you to follow Christ," my devotion to Christ supersedes my devotion to any human relationship. God's not giving us a license to abuse the people that should be dearest to us, but we always have to keep it as a priority. Even when we raise our children, how are we to do it? We're to let them know, "Kids, I'm raising you and I love you so much. But whatever God tells you to do in your life as your parent, I never want to stand in your way. My top priority is that you would obey the Lord." So you hold on to your children the best that you can. But if God calls them to maybe be somewhere where we don't live, and you know that it's the Lord that's calling them, then you just say, "Man, I bless you. You belong to the Lord." So let's keep first things first. When we love our Christ first inside our homes, we actually then make room for that love for our wives and our children to even flourish more. So that's a great challenge today. Let's keep our first love. That belongs to Jesus Christ.